President Obama, you are going to be hosting Mohammed Morsi, a man who has been associated with the Muslim Brotherhood for decades, now the president of Egypt, at the very moment that he is leading a consolidation of power that is anything but democratic. We're also being told that he is trying to impose Sharia law throughout his country to the grave detriment of women and apostates and Christians and others. We're also hearing that the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt seeks to get their hands on nuclear weapons and that they're working with the Iranians for that purpose. How on earth can you be dignifying, legitimating, and empowering such a man in the White House at this time? Mr. Obama, you have said that you are not going to allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Unfortunately, your policies have actually given it exactly what it needs to do that: time. What are you going to do now at the moment when the International Atomic Energy Agency and many other experts believe Iran is ready to capitalize on that time to secure the nuclear weapons it's long sought, and perhaps to use them, maybe against Israel, maybe against us, to ensure that doesn't happen? Mr. President, you've said that we are at war with Al-Qaeda and that it is on the path to defeat. How do you square that with the reality that there are many adherents to Sharia, some of them like the Muslim Brotherhood, that are seeking exactly the same things as Al-Qaeda? They may be using different tactics to achieve them, but they also want us to submit to this brutally repressive totalitarian doctrine. And more to the point, even if the problem were just Al-Qaeda, how do you square your statements with them being on the path to defeat with the fact that there are now more and more and more franchises of Al-Qaeda opening up all over the world? Mr. President, even if it were just Al-Qaeda we were up against, the reality is we're looking at their growth worldwide, not them being on the path to defeat. We are seeing them open up essentially franchise operations in Yemen, in Somalia, in Mali, in Nigeria. And the trouble is that even in Afghanistan, they're not out of business. So the trouble with your explanation of the nature of the war is it's profoundly misleading. How do you square it with the facts? Mr. President, you have said Hugo Chavez is not a threat. He is a dictator who is destroying an important neighbor of ours in Venezuela. But he's also actively promoting, both in his own country and throughout the region, a virulent anti-Americanism that is inviting in enemies of ours like Iran and Al-Qaeda and Hamas and Hezbollah, and creating conditions throughout the region where the publics are being turned against this country. We're also seeing with China, with Russia, with Iran, arms flowing into Chavez's regime that will almost certainly destabilize the region further and perhaps pose a threat to the United States as well. How on earth can you say Hugo Chavez is not a threat?